positive integer x is a multiple of 14 and 12. Which of the following statements must be true? In this kind of questions, you need to be very careful. Again, because of the word most. Now, let's analyze the question from the beginning. X is a positive integer based on the information in the question stem. It's a positive integer and is a multiple of 14 and 12. What does that statement mean? If x is a multiple of 14 and 12, that means 14 and 12 are factors of x. Now, this is now what we do. Now, since we now know that 14 and 12 are factors of x, so in order to create a variable for x, we need to find the LCM of 14 and 12. So, factorizing this gives us 2 times 7. This one gives us 4 times 3. 4 times 3. Remember, we are looking for LCM. So, in LCM, you pick all the factors, prime factors, in the two numbers, 3, 7, and then you use their greatest power. Greatest power for 2 is 2, out of 3 is 1, you leave it. And then our LCM becomes, this is 4 times 2, 12 times 7, that should be 84. 84. Now, what does this tell us? It doesn't mean x is 84. This means x is a multiple of 84. That's what it means. So that means in order to create a variable for x in that case, x will now become x equals 84. Now, what is a multiple? A multiple is formed when you multiply a number by an integer. So, how is that a multiple is formed? So, let us now multiply it by an integer. So, let's say the integer is a. Since we don't know what the integer is, let's say the integer is a. So, 84 times a becomes 84a becomes the value of x. Okay. So now, let us now start analyzing the statements one by one. Since we now know what the variable for x is, okay, x is, we got that to be 84a. Now, which of the following statements must be true? Now, we need to begin to take the statements one by one. Now, in this kind of situation, since the one that must be true is true in all cases, you only need to find one case where it is not true to disqualify the statement. Let's start with 1. X is divisible by 8. So that means if I divide 84a by, if I divide 84a by 8, this statement means 8 is a factor of x. So that means if I divide 84a by 8, I am going to get an integer in all cases. That is what most means. So let's see. 2 here is 2 here is, this is 42, this is 4, this is 2, this is 21. So that means I will have 21a over 2. Now, is this going to give us an integer in all cases? The answer is no. The reason is because if a is 1, 21 over 2 won't give us an integer. Because we have just one, we have a case now where statement 1 is not true. That means this can be part of our answer. So we move on to x is divisible by 28. That means 28 is a factor of x. So in the same way, let us so we now say 84a divided by 28 must give us an integer in all cases. So 2 here is 42, 2 here is 14, 2 here is 21, 2 here is 7, this is 1, this is 3. So that means we have 3a. Now, since 3a will always give us an integer, since we know that a is an integer, so this is true in all cases, so we pick this. So let's move on to the last statement. Last statement. We have the greatest common divisor of x and 9 is 3. Now, what is greatest common divisor? Greatest common divisor. Now, the word divisor in maths means a number that divides another number. But the way in which it is used in this statement now, divisor means factor. So they are using the word divisor as a factor in this case. So what they actually mean is GCF. So they are saying the greatest common divisor of x, we know that x is 84. So we prime factorize to find greatest common factor of x and 9. So we know that this will give us 2 raised to power 2 times 3, right? 3 times 7. 4 times 3 is 12. Okay. Then 9 will give us 3 raised to power 2. Remember, this is multiplying a. We know that a is an integer. A is a positive integer. We don't know what integer a is. Now, in order to find the GCF, you pick factors common to the two numbers. So in this case, the factor that is common is 3. Then you pick their lowest power. Now, if you look at the two numbers now, in this case, if a were to be 1, the greatest common factor of 84 and 9 would be 3. But remember, the question is saying which of the following statements must. So because of the word must, the option we choose must be true in all cases. Is 84a and 9? Will 84a and 9 give us 3 as the greatest common factor in all cases? No, the reason is because a could be 9. If a is 9 now, or 3 raised to power 2, or even 3. So that means we have 3 raised to power 2 here, 3 raised to power 2 here. 3 is common, so 3 raised to power 2 is the greatest common factor. Or a is 9. If a is 9, we are going to have 3 raised to power 3 raised to power 3 here, and 3 raised to power 2 will be the greatest common factor. So it is only when a is 1 here that when a is 1, the greatest common factor of x and 9 will be 3. If a is, we can get a different value if a is 3 or 9. So because we have a case where it is not true, we cannot pick this. So the answer is B. So this is where we end the class for today. Thank you.